Hey, welcome back to another rideshare experience video. I drive for Lyft. I'm an artist and musician from Seattle, Washington, currently living in San Diego, and I use Lyft as my primary source of income for now, and it's been working out. That's all I'll tell you why I did that. So today's going to be fairly short. Just going to go through how much I made this week, my star rating saga, and then ponder if this job is sustainable or not. So here we go. Here's what I made this week. I made just over 700, and I was only able to work Monday through Friday this last week. So that's what I was able to do Monday through Friday. Here's the daily breakdown, so I'll leave that up there for a couple seconds. And then, so yeah, because I was only able to work Monday through Friday, that's all I was able to make. I did a fairly good job, I think, for that fact. I put in a lot of hours and basically structured it, tried to look at my 14 hours I can do. I like to work during the day, as I've told you before, and I tracked very closely it tracks on the app as well, but I tracked on my whiteboard as well, when I stopped, when I could start again to maximize my hours. And what I've discovered, I'll just wrap in to the only thing I want to talk about today is whether or not this job is sustainable. In terms, there's a lot of ways you can define sustainability, and one is, do you make enough money? But two, the other part of it is, can you actually do it for as long as you can in terms of stay awake and all that stuff. And I'm not that I can't really do caffeine and sugar and things like that because it just wreaks havoc on my body. So I have to do it all with rest. So, and that's the trouble. That's the tricky part with the rhythm that I'm on. So basically what I like the best is to get started by 6 a.m., work till about noon, take a 3-hour break, start at 3 o'clock again, and work till about 11. And that allows me to do the entire 14 hours I'm allowed, take a 6-hour break. I think it's actually 6-hour break between 11 and the next. So it is 7 hours. It would be a 7-hour break between 11 p.m. and then 6 a.m. the next day. But getting up and all that stuff in there. So it would mean to get started by 6, I would have to basically set my alarm by 5, get up and do all that stuff. So what I've discovered is it's really difficult. It's extremely difficult. I do think, so talking about sustainability, if you're a single person doing this job, I'm a single person. If you're just solo, no kids, no other obligations, and all you need to do is work, that's all you care about is working, you can make a bundle on this job. You can do that 14 or so hour shift most days and make plenty of money, especially if you focus on the weekends, and you'll do great. My situation, as I've said in the past, is I have kids half the time. So when I have my kids, I can't work, and the schedule is basically a week on, week off schedule, but there's some fluctuations that happen. So it's rare that I get a Monday through Sunday where I can work that whole week without any breaks. And I've done it a few times, and what I've discovered is that it's extremely difficult for me to make it Monday through Sunday, and have the app on for 14 hours every day, all 7 days in a row. It is really hard to make it. So, and it's especially kind of a bummer, I guess, that where all the money is on the weekend. So if you start on Monday, and by the time I get to Thursday and Friday, I'm already feeling the fatigue, the major fatigue of whether or not I'm going to make it through the weekend and fully be able to do it. So what I've decided for myself is a couple things. I need to work less, basically. I need to have the app on less, and when I do have those full weeks to work, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the slowest days that I've experienced in the San Diego area, so I'm potentially going to be shutting off the app during those times. But I haven't, had a regular rhythm. In a couple of months, my kids are going to be away on vacation with their mom for a whole month, So I'll be able to really test out my theory during that time. But for now, I've noticed that when I have a full week to work, I have to be very careful to not push myself too hard, because by the time the weekend comes, I'm just out of it. I just can't function, and it's crazy. And it's mainly because of that, the way I like to do it, because there's like the 6 a.m. to 12 noon is fairly good. I get fairly good rides in there. The midday tends to be pretty dead, so I take that off, try to get a nap in or whatever, and then do that 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift, and try to get in there. But then having that only about 5 hours to 6 hours of sleep every night catches up with you quick after doing that 4 days in a row. So I needed longer stretches of sleep to be able to make it through the whole week. So that's what I've discovered about my ability to make this a sustainable job. I love the job, and I think it's awesome. I love, not having a boss and being able to basically have my own schedule around things. But because of my schedule with having truncated work weeks to work when I have my kids, and then trying to get as much as work as I can in when I don't have my kids, it really is not entirely sustainable for me. So that's just kind of an update on how it works for me. Maybe if you're thinking about using this as a full-time gig down the line, you can consider some of these techniques or some of these ideas to put into play when it comes time for you to see how sustainable it is. So that's basically it. I'll just talk about my star rating for a moment. I was pretty stoked that the beginning of last week, so they're scrolling by right now, the daily emails I get. The beginning of the week last week, I was riding a 5-star for like 3 days in a row, and then it dropped down. So now I'm back down to a 4.9 on the app side. The lowest I think I've gotten is 4.92. But I was up to a 4.96, I think, maybe 7, I forget. Well, as far as I got. So the app showed a 5.0, and I was really stoked to be rolling for a few days with a 5.0 rating, so that was pretty cool. But currently, at this very moment, I'm rocking the 4.9. I'm about, at this very moment of recording this, I am getting closer to my 1,000th drive, so obviously you'll hear about that when I hit it. I am 938 drives at the moment. Maybe it says right there as well. So that's it. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions for me, let me know. This has been my rideshare experience video for this week. I think we're up to 11. This is the 11th one. Alright, I almost didn't make one this week because I wasn't sure if I had anything to add to the conversation. But I just realized this whole sustainability idea that I wanted to talk about, and I might address this again down the line as I figure out how to continue to do this. I'm really hoping, actually, since I just started this in February, I'm really hoping that the summertime picks up a lot in terms of how many rides I'm able to get consecutively and stuff. But then there'll probably also be a whole bunch more drivers out during the summer. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure. I'm just, as I mentioned before, if I can make $1,000 or more per week at it, that makes it extremely sustainable. And actually, I've noticed as well that it helps me keep going when I'm making more money. Like when my money counter is at a good spot, like that I feel good about, it's a lot easier to get out there and go. Whereas when the money counter feels like it's not going as quickly as I want or would like, it's like, oh man, it weighs me down. So anyways, catch you next time. Peace.